Hello and good day, everyone. So, today we are going to present our assignment with a title of Upgrading the Labs and Equipment for the Faculty of Engineering in line with the IR 4.0. So, me, myself, Muhammad HAZIM bin Muhammad ZAKI, and then Muhammad Syamil bin MANAN, Muhammad HAKIM bin Muhammad HASHIM, AZAMUDDIN bin AHMAD, and RAIS bin HALIN. So let's proceed. So first, we're gonna start on client document first. So this is the example of invitation to tender for the title of this tender, which is supply, installation, and commissioning of 3D bioprinting, Internet of Things, IoT, and smart sensors slash wearables. So here are the tender number. What is tender number? So tender number is important for the bidder to assess or to request for the tender. So basically, when the bidder wanted to uh, request for the tender, they need to know the tender number. So here are some words that say that supplier or the bidder are invited from companies which registered with Malaysian Ministry of Finance only. So and the supplier must in relevant field code with the criteria as follow. So the offer description here is the title itself. So it's same as the title of the tender, and then the type of offer is open. So next. Okay, next is some details for for the client document. Tender inviting party is uh, the party that issue the this tender. So for this tender, the party who issuing this tender is Department of Biomedical Engineering, Faculty of Engineering, University of Malaya. So the project will take the venue of this project is at University Malaya, Kuala Lumpur. So the opening time and date for this project is on 12 a.m. 23 of December 2020, and the closing time and date for this tender is 12 a.m. 26 December 2020. So the validity of this tender is about 3 days or 96 hours. Next, so here are some other details about the tender. So the project name is the tender title, and then like I said just now, the BMEUM reference is the tender reference number. So here the this little paragraph here is the words that invite the bidder to request for this tender. Next is tender process and time schedule. So all the bidder is necessary for all the bidder to comply to this time schedule and deadlines to be qualified or considered as the bidder for this tender. So the tender notice is when the tender had been issued. So the registration date is the date when the bidder can request for the tender. So the tender submission date is the submission date for the tender or deadlines for that tender. So bidder need to send that tender within that date, and then the assessment date is when the client uh, need to assess the bidder document. So notification of award is when the client already have the bidder that will be doing this project, and fulfillment of the project is the date when the bidder are expected to complete all the criteria of the project. So each and every tender document must be sealed and written to the address below. So the address is the Department of Biomedical Engineering, Faculty of Engineering, University Malaya. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, I am HAKIM, so I will brief about the instruction to tenderers. I will brief short and compact. So about the instruction to tenderers, if you are familiar with the JPA and something like with the government, you know that the lampiran A, so it's something like this. The instruction to tenderers mean what tenderers have to meet for them to be able to join this tender. There are a few things that they must meet for them to be able to join the tender. Like they must be registered under Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia SSM, no black record, good reputation, and so on. Also, BME UM has a right to refer to reject or anything and are not held liable to any loss. The tender also must be submitted before the closing date. There are a few terms that need to be made for tender evaluation committee, like the tender price, tender introduction and condition, after sale evaluation, strength of tender business and business reputation. And the warranty period that we want is the 3 years from the date of veterinary assessment test. Also, all the components must be under insurance. The cost must be stated in Ringgit Malaysia. Also, for the tax, the tenderers must put the bid without taking account tax under Akta Cukai Barang and Perkhidmatan 2014 or Akta CBP 2014. Also, the tenderers must sign an agreement which is the Integrity Pact, which is the Surat Akwa Pembida, and must follow its rule like no bribery and all the offers and attachment are true. That's all from my part. We move on to the next part.
This is the technical details for the client part. Item column indicate what we want as client for the lab upgrade. Required specification column is the details of the client demand. The supplied specification column is to be filled by the bidder or the supplier. Deviation details column is provided so that any differences of what is asked and what is supplied can be noted. If there is no differences, bidder have to fill the deviation details with no deviation. Next is the pricing schedule. As can be seen here, this is the information that the client is interested to know. After service sale, we have PPM and CM, etc. PPM means the plant preventive maintenance, and CM means corrective maintenance, which is the usual service that supplier usually provide to the client for long term. That's why it's in the after sale service. As for the position area here, is to be filled with the official stamp of the bidder. Authorized representative of the bidder company will have stamp with at least position, company name, and the address of the company. That's all for this part. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is MOHD bin MANAN, and for this presentation I am going to present about the bid document. Continue to our first slide. This is our bid letter. The bid letter consists of three parts. The first part is the introductions, the second part is the content description, and the third part is the fact. So the first part, our letter is aimed towards the one that offer the bid. That is to the Department of Biomedical Engineering, University of Madya. In our introduction, we introduce the one that wrote the letter and his position. For this document, I wrote the letter. So, my name is Muhammad Shamil bin Manan, and I am the General Manager of the company Magah Teguh Enterprise. Included is the bid number of the project and the list of the original document that the tenderee wanted. Continue to our next slide. We have a pact and agreement stating that we are absolute in our decision, and we stated that we follow the terms listed in the documents. The terms included that we fulfill our contract obligations and we have reviewed all the documents. Our tender will be valid for 30 days after we submitted the tender, and we also included our information. Continue to the next slide. Is our details. This is the details of our company, and the contact details is for any inquiry.
Hi, my name is Aminur S. bin HALIN and I am the bidder. and today I'll be presenting on course documents on installation of 3D printing, Internet of Things, smart sensors, and other supporting tools. For 3D printing, there are two items needed, which are 3D bioprinter, which manufactured by a company called BioBots, and the description of the items are in the slides, as you can see. And the estimated final price for 3D installation is 45,100 ringgit Malaysia. For Internet of Things (IoT), the whole system will be installed by IBM company, which takes up to approximately 36,630 ringgit Malaysia. Next, the installations of smart sensors will include two predominant items, which are smart control and a series of health sensors which will be needed for laboratory use. The cost for installation of this system will take up to approximately 5,500 ringgit Malaysia. The company that provides the installation of this technology is MySignal. And lastly, here is the cost statement if the supporting documents. Here is the cost statement of the supporting documents which will be needed for pre-installation of the aforementioned technologies. The services is provided by Power Cables Sdn Bhd, and the cost takes up to approximately 14,914 ringgit and 9 cents. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello guys, this is SYAMIL again, and I'm going to present the deviation list. Okay, the first part is the Internet of Things. We are outsourcing our Internet of Things works to IBM. So the Internet Protocol ID, we cannot register it manually. Instead, we rely on the availability from IBM. Continue to our next one. This is the second deviation, which is from the Smart ID system. We are unable to identify the ID because IBM doesn't have the product. So instead, what IBM offer is a barcode scanner. So we use barcode scanner to scan the barcode on the student ID and the staff ID. Continue to the next one is for the second part of our project, which is the smart sensor. We are unable to find a tactile sensor used for laboratory conducts. Instead, we just able to find for the demo. Next, lastly, is the bioprinting, where we found the product. The supply specification for the product is from the BioBots, and BioBots already made their product. So we are unable to change the chassis of the product. So the spec is according to the device that the BioBots have already offered. The next deviation is the printer cover, which is the required specification. Supposedly that they want acrylic and they want the cover to be fully covered. Instead, the product doesn't come with acrylic cover, so we decided to make one. Lastly, for the deviation is that our device is not equipped with the cooling system, which we replace the cooling system by cooling the room temperature itself. That is all from us. Thank you.